There was a time when hearing the name John D. Rockefeller would make anyone tremble. He wasn't just the world's first billionaire, he's one of the richest people in history. His empire, Standard Oil, became an unstoppable monopoly in the world by brutally crushing competitors, taking control of multiple industries, bribing the government into submission, and treating business as if it was war. Because of his ruthless business practices and secretive deals, Rockefeller made many enemies. His career is filled with bitter rivalries like with Andrew Carnegie and even ferocious battles against US presidents. But before he was the titan of the oil industry, Rockefeller was at the very bottom of society. His story is one of only a handful of cases where someone manages to rise from the depths of poverty to the absolute peak of wealth and power. Rockefeller's story is at times inspiring and at times chilling. It's an example of what happens when greed and ambition go completely unchecked. So step back with me to 1839, where a young John D. Rockefeller is born into poverty. John D. Rockefeller was born in 1839 in upstate New York to a family barely scraping by. His mom, Eliza, was a devout Christian who taught him discipline and faith. But his dad? Oh, his dad was something else. Known as Devil Bill, William Rockefeller was a shady character, a traveling con man who sold fake herbal cures under the alias Dr. William Livingston. One day, he'd shower the kids with fancy gifts. The next, he'd vanish, leaving the family broke and humiliated. Young John learned fast. Trust no one and hustle hard. By age 7, John was already showing that hustle, stealing turkey eggs, raising the birds, and selling them for profit. Who knew this kid would one day own an empire? Life got tougher when Devil Bill married another woman under his fake name and dragged the family from town to town. By 16, John said, "Enough." He dropped out of school, not because he didn't care, but because he had to support his mom and siblings. He landed a job as a bookkeeper in Cleveland, earning 50 cents a day. Boring? Maybe, but John was obsessed. He'd study every ledger, every deal, whispering to himself, "I am bound to be rich." And trust me, he wasn't kidding. Fast forward to 1859. John, now 20, teamed up with a guy named Maurice Clark to start Clark and Rockefeller, a produce business trading grain, fish, and meat. They were good, but then the Civil War hit in 1861 and business exploded. While soldiers fought, John and Maurice raked in cash, supplying the Union Army. John even donated to the cause, part patriotism, part PR move. By his mid-20s, he was already a player. But produce? That was just the warm-up. Then came the game changer, oil. In the 1860s, crude oil was discovered in Pennsylvania, sparking the black gold boom. John saw the future, refining oil into kerosene for lamps. He and Maurice invested in a refinery, but John's ambition outgrew his partner. In 1865, Maurice panicked over the risky market and sold his share to John for $72,500. John didn't blink. He rebranded the company as Standard Oil and set out to dominate. Standard Oil wasn't just a company, it was a war machine. And John, he was the general. John didn't mess around. He struck secret deals with railroads like Erie and New York, slashing his shipping costs. With lower expenses, he started price wars, selling oil so cheap his rivals couldn't keep up. One by one, they folded or sold out to him. By 1870, Standard Oil controlled 90% of US oil refining. They called it the octopus, tentacles everywhere, squeezing the life out of competitors. John saw it differently. I'm saving the industry by controlling it. Bold move, right? What do you think, genius or villain? Let me know in the comments. John's biggest rival? Tom Scott, head of Pennsylvania Railroad. Tom fought back, building his refineries. Bad idea. John unleashed an all-out assault, flooding the market with cheap oil, tanking Scott's profits. Rail workers lost jobs, riots broke out, and people died in the chaos. By 1879, Scott's empire was toast, and he died soon after. John didn't just win, he owned the railroads and the oil. Cold-blooded? You bet. John wasn't done. In the 1880s, he pioneered vertical integration, controlling every step from drilling to delivery. New oil in Ohio smelled like skunk. He hired chemists to fix it. Competitors couldn't match his pipelines, his efficiency, his power. By now, Standard Oil was a monster, earning John the title of America's most feared tycoon. But not everyone was cheering. Protesters hated him. Journalists like Ida Tarbell exposed his dirty tricks, secret rebates, intimidation, you name it. Then came President Theodore Roosevelt. In 1904, Roosevelt campaigned to smash monopolies, and Standard Oil was target number one. After years of investigations, the government struck in 1911. Standard Oil was ordered to break up. End of the road? Nope. John turned it into a gold mine, selling off pieces for massive profits. Here's the twist. John gave away over $500 million in his lifetime, billions in today's money. He funded universities, wiped out diseases like hookworm, and built the Rockefeller Foundation, still active today. He once said, "My purpose is to make money to give it away." Noble? Sure. But critics argued it was just guilt, or a way to polish his tarnished image. What do you think? In retirement, John stepped back, but his shadow loomed large. He died in 1937 at 97, leaving a legacy that's still debated. Was he a visionary who built modern America? Or a ruthless monopolist who crushed the little guy? Maybe both. His wealth saved lives, but his tactics sparked laws we still use today, like antitrust rules keeping companies in check. One thing's clear. John D. Rockefeller's story is a wild ride from rags to riches and beyond. That's the epic tale of John D. Rockefeller. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories of ambition, power, and everything in between. Next time, we're tackling J.P. Morgan, the man who owned America. You won't want to miss it. Tell me in the comments, hero or villain, and if you've got a crazy history topic you want us to cover, let me know. Thanks for watching. See you next time.